Good evening and welcome to historic Southport Fieldhouse for the Marion County Tournament semifinals on the IHSAA Sports Network. It is great to have you with us. Along with Jan Bozer, I'm John Herrick, and our broadcast tonight brought to you by Ed Martin Automotive Group. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know. We're also brought to you in part by Lawrence Township Schools. Learn more about Lawrence Excellence today at ltschools.org. And by L.D. Smith Plumbing, the big dogs of plumbing. In our first matchup, it is the Park Tudor Panthers, a record of 8-4 in Class 2A, against the Lawrence North Wildcats, who are 12-1 in 4A, ranked 6th in one poll, and they're also 7th in the IBCA poll. Jan, let's start with Lawrence North. I know you've seen them several times this season.
Yeah, no question about it. They're led by Brandon Miller. He's the real deal. I think he's a potential Indiana All-Star. He does everything very well, runs the floor, plays above the rim. He's really good. Cameron Webster, very, very good as well. Their one loss came when he got ill, wasn't able to play. And the other guy would lean on is Chandon Gilbert. Three players. They've got others, but I would start by those three. Very good.
Chris Giffen leads them with a record of 77-20 in his 4 years at LN. For Park Tudor, they're led by Tim Adams, who's also put together an impressive 109-61 record in 8 years there. And they have 4 seniors on their squad. They started 4-0, then went 4-4, lost 4 straight, and now they've won 4 straight to go 8-4 to this point.
Well, part of that 4 losses, they play a tough schedule. They're 2A. They play a lot of 3A and 4A schools. That does nothing more than to make them pretty tough. They are balanced as well with Smith, Robish, and Blewett, and so they're very balanced. But the thing they hang their head on, John, is defense. Very good on the defensive side, average and giving up in the 50s, much like Lawrence North. Lawrence North wants to push it. If they can make this game in the 70s, that's what Lawrence North wants to do. I don't think Park Tudor can win this game if they play in the 70s.
The starting lineup for Park Tudor: Miles Wiley, Keelan Smith, Griffin Robish, and also Asher Arcanow and Carlos Lopez. That's the starting 5 for Park Tudor. Lawrence North with Cameron Webster, Brennan Miller, Duke Carnes, Chandon Gilbert, and Britton Thomas. So those are the 5 on the floor for both teams. Lawrence North is the team in the white jerseys tonight. Park Tudor is dressed in black with the red numbers and outlines. So this is the first of 2 Marion County Tournament semifinals. Our second game tonight comes your way at about 7:45. The winners of these 2 games play each other for the Marion County Tournament title tomorrow night. And Lawrence North wins the tip as the ball goes into the hands of Duke Carnes, and we are underway with Lawrence North starting off with the basketball. They're scoring 71 points a game, allowing 58. Park Tudor scoring 63 and allowing 59. Like a zone defense to start a little bit. Inside, though, a look and a layup for Britton Thomas to get things started for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Lawrence North, they'll push everything downhill. If you let them play at the rim, they're going to be really hard to beat.
Smith gives it up to Wiley. Curling up top, Arcanow. Tried to drive, cannot. Now penetrating, Arcanow thought he had a minute, but then a pass inside to Keelan Smith for Park Tudor to knot things up.
Yeah, Panthers are really disciplined. Great patience that time, got the easy one.
It is a roster for Park Tudor that's made up of 4 seniors, 6 juniors, 4 sophomores. They're ranked 11th in Class 2A. 3 on the other side by Carnes, and he knocks it down.
And if Carnes gets going from behind the arc, look out. Now you're deadly inside and outside, and he's certainly capable.
Lawrence North also counters with 4 seniors, 1 junior, plus they've got some good youth too, 6 sophomores. Driving in Lopez, didn't like what he saw. Now to Arcanow. Arcanow shadowed by Miller with good defense. Now down low, Smith. Nice job inside, and Smith has both buckets so far for Park Tudor.
Yeah, he was dynamic in the win over Franklin Central. Really great patience by Park Tudor.
Webster gets it back. Flips it to Thomas, now over to Carnes, and Carnes almost got it to go down. Offensive rebound, Gilbert. Jumper by Webster. Tipped up, Miller almost had it, but it ends up in the hands of Griffin Robish. Park Tudor trying to take their first lead. Park Tudor looking to win their first Marion County tournament since 2014. Driving baseline, got the seam, and Lopez with the layup.
John, I'll tell you, at least early, Park Tudor's doing some things I've never seen anybody else at least early do against Lawrence North, and that's get to the rim.
3 on the way, does not go down from Chandon Gilbert. And now Park Tudor with a chance to extend that advantage. Smith with the handoff to Wiley. Wiley shattered immediately by Webster. Tries to drive on him. Lopez lets it go. Not this time, and the rebound by Miller. Miller. Good pass to the outside, leads to an open 3. Does not go down from Gilbert. And Park Tudor clears the rebound with Robish again. And I think he stepped out. Yep, did. Arkenau stepped on the sideline.
And the more that Park Tudor cannot allow second opportunities or second chance points by Lawrence North, that will be a little bit of a feather in their cap. Lawrence North, John, really good on the offensive glass.
Also, an important thing about tonight's game for Park Tudor, last year they went 8-13, they're 8-4. So if they win this game, they will have more wins this season than they had all of last season. 3 does not go down by Thomas. Off and running goes Park Tudor again. So Lawrence North a little bit cold after those couple of early baskets there from Carnes and Thomas.
Oh, miscommunication there. Don't want that. You don't want an unforced turnover.
Yep, right when you get the lead, you commit 2 turnovers, so that's not going to make Park Tudor coach Tim Adams very happy. Park Tudor clearly content to play some zone and forcing LN to shoot from the outside, and that is a travel on Cameron Webster. So I think both defenses are sort of flummoxing the offenses a little bit.
I think you're right, John. Both are very, very crowding the paint to start off with. They're going to say, if you're going to beat us, you're going to do it from outside. Both teams really kind of backing it in and just kind of forcing teams to really dare to come in the paint.
Lopez gets it to Robish. Bounce pass up high, Smith. Swings it to Lopez. Back down to Smith. He likes that mid-range game, and you can see why. He's got 6 of Park Tudor's 8. And then Webster falls down. Park Tudor bench thought he just fell on his own, but they get the first foul of the game is against Park Tudor's Miles Wiley.
Kind of looked like, at least that first glance, maybe not, that he kind of lost a little control off the ball, John. Yeah, there's some reach in there. If you reach, regardless if you get much at all, you're going to get a call.
You're so right about that. Bad pass off the inbound, and it's taken away. Park Tudor forces that. So both teams have now turned it over twice.
I think this tempo favors Park Tudor. They're very methodical, very patient, and LN's that team that just wants to physical and just go transition. But Park Tudor right now is controlling the tempo, John.
Wiley. Miller came right out to try to force him to give it up, but Wiley hangs on to it. Wiley creates inside, got it to Robish, had his shot blocked, he saves it right into the arms of Smith. And another crack at it here for Park Tudor. Wiley surveys and leaves the pass out to Lopez. Arkenau, one dribble and gives it up. Both teams content to play zone. 3 on the way off.
I'm not sure that's the shot they want.
Nope.
He was, and there's from the coach, listen, we get that shot any day. Let's see if we can find a better one, you know?
Yep, Miles Wiley was the one who couldn't get that one to go down. So far, Keelan Smith leads all scorers with 6. Duke Carnes with 3 of Lawrence North's 5. Lawrence North hasn't scored in nearly 4 minutes. Swing it out. Davis Baker into the game for the first time. A sub off the LN bench, and he converts. The 6'1 sophomore able to give the Wildcats some offense that they've been badly needing over these last several minutes. And tipped up and knocked away on the steal by Carnes. Breakaway layup is good, and Carnes has 5.
Park Tudor, John, advertise that. You cannot advertise a pass. Lawrence North way too quick to make that happen.
Tipped up, and they almost get a steal. This time they do, and Webster the other way lays it up and in, and that is not making Park Tudor head coach Tim Adams a happy camper. He calls a timeout. It is a 30-second timeout to try to regroup because it was an 8-5 lead for Park Tudor, and now a 6-0 run by Lawrence North here at Southport to get them on top 11-8. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Ed Martin Automotive Group. You get another look there at that last layup. When it comes to your next vehicle, Ed Martin is the only name you need to know, and Ed Martin is always proud to support both the Wildcats and the Bears.
Well, Lawrence North does not need any help scoring points. And when you turn the ball over or make some bad passes, John, you're assisting something that doesn't need assistance.
Park Tudor, the reason they were able to get that lead is because they had 6 points and no turnovers, but in the last several minutes they have 2 points and 3 turnovers. So Asher Arkenau inbounds. Let's see if Park Tudor learned anything after that discussion with their head coach, Tim Adams.
Yeah, I think that's a good timeout. He got him settled down. Listen, this is not a team you take risk against. It's just not.
It always seems that way at Lawrence North, even from the days back when they had Greg Oden and Mike Conley. If you throw a bad pass, they will intercept it, and they'll have a breakaway the other way. It's been part of their staple of basketball there for decades. Shot fake by Robish, gives it up. Wiley from way out.
Oh,
rifles it in, but he couldn't finish.
Oh, no. That was a dime pass, and he didn't finish it.
Darian Prater has it, another Lawrence North sub who just checked in off the last timeout. Driving left, Webster couldn't get the roll. Miller with a strong rebound in traffic, powers it back up, but couldn't get it to go down, and the rebound by Robish.
Being aggressive, that's what he does around the glass. John, you're getting to see Cameron Webster in person. You can see without him how they're a different team, you know?
A lot of skill and athleticism there. Wiley creates, shoots, fights for the rebound, doesn't come up with it. Instead, it's Prather.
That's good defense by Webster.
Carnes has an opening. Long rebound, grabbed by Miller. Or rather, that was Webster, excuse me. Now a 3 by Baker, and he got it. So how about Davis Baker coming off the bench, has 5 points. He and Carnes both have 5 to lead Lawrence North, and they lead by 6.
Well, the question coming into this year was who would be their bench? And he's just a sophomore, and he is slowly but surely picking up to be a really good player.
Lopez with a nice drive inside, a whistle. I think we have our first foul on Lawrence North, and we do. And that is on Duke Carnes. Another look at it. Yep, he did get part of the ball, but also a little bit of the hand. This gives an opportunity here for Park Tudor to have free throws, and the clock stopped. And Lopez can't convert on that. A 5'10" sophomore, one of the 4 sophomores that see action here for Park Tudor. And coming out of the game, they bring out Griffin Robish. Miles Wiley checks out as well.
We're going to see how the benches come into play. These teams now played last night. They're going to play tonight. If they win, they're going to play tomorrow night. So the bench slowly but surely will come more into play as tonight and tomorrow comes into play.
And Lopez misses them both. The newcomers for Park Tudor, Brody Blewett, a 6'4" sophomore forward, and Owen Platt, a 6'2" sophomore guard. Lawrence North looks content to just let the clock wind down and hold for the last shot here. As Cameron Webster just pounds that dribble out high with his team up by 6. Probably will start going with 10. Yep, Webster on the move. Now down to 5. Here is Miller. No, I think a piece of it was obtained by Blewett. Shot at the buzzer, off the mark. But a strong close to the quarter by Lawrence North as they lead by 6 after trailing at one point. They go on a 9-2 run to close period number 1. The second quarter comes your way after this on the ISC Sports Network.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
Your home uses water all day, every day. So when plumbing problems arise, you need them fixed fast and right. The LD Smith Plumbing crew can handle anything, from outdoor plumbing repairs to everyday water problems. Plumbing may not be pretty, but we're pretty darn good at it, and we'll always give you a fair price.
That's our dirty, stinking honest LD Smith Plumbing promise.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Call today and save up to $300 on a new water heater installed.
Well, before we start the second quarter, we'll remind you that our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Blessed by the Game Sportswear, which provides custom team uniforms for schools, youth leagues, and travel sports organizations, as well as corporate apparel designed to elevate brand identity with a clean, polished, and professional look. Reach out to Ken Beverly or Ron Rutland Jr. today for more information at 317-589-4764.
John, I thought Park Tudor played pretty well the first of that quarter, but didn't take care of the ball in the second half of the first quarter, and Lawrence North made it pay.
3 turnovers for Park Tudor and 2 for LN. Both teams have changed their lineups a little bit. For LN, they bring in Trey Cunningham for the first time. He's number 12 in white, defending on that 3, but knocking it down over him is E.J. Smith, who becomes the 3rd Park Tudor Panther to get in the scoring column.
Well, they needed that. E.J. Smith, just a junior, nice shot.
And here is another 3 ball by Davis Baker, his second 3 of the game, and he's got 8 points to lead all scorers.
The benches, we just sat there and talked about the benches, and here they are stepping up, hitting 3s.
Both teams playing a lot of zone defense so far. The 3-point shot will be large. Tipped up and back. Oh, nearly stolen away by Webster, but Park Tudor able to hold on. A 3 on the way by Platt. Offensive rebound. Putback does not go down from Arkenau. Tipped up again, and this time it's grabbed by Brennan Miller. Miller, who edged his way further into Lawrence North history the other night, banks that one in. He's already passed Mike Conley on the all-time scoring list to get to 9th last night, and he gets his first 2 right there.
And I think that ball actually might have been tipped, but it hit the glass and went in. They all count, right?
Yep. It was given a little urge forward towards the basket.
He's a phenomenal player.
And Lawrence North has their biggest lead of the night at 8. This is a game early that Park Tudor led 6-5. But ever since then, it's been a bit of a struggle as the 3 does not go down by Smith. And what a flying speed by Cameron Webster. He gets the ball in the open floor. Look out.
And it's not a mystery. When you make a mistake or they get the rebound, here they go. That's why they score 70 plus.
Platt brings it around into the hands of Blewett. Tipped up and out of bounds. Who's it off of? They say it's off of Park Tudor. Miles Wiley returns for Park Tudor, replaces Arkenau. And Lawrence North is sending Chandon Gilbert back in to replace Cunningham.
We got a timeout. Listen, Lawrence North, and I said this in the opening, John, they're a team that you cannot make mistakes. You make mistakes, they are as good as anybody of making you pay. And Park Tudor just continues to make minor mistakes that are all adding up to a 10-point lead.
Yep. Well, a 30-second timeout, so we'll go ahead and keep it here. And I'm sure that's not part of what Tim Adams, the head coach for Park Tudor, wanted to see here, Jan. Already having to call 2 30-second timeouts in this half to try to get his team on track.
Yeah, and to add to that, John, you're exactly right. You cannot make soft passes. If the pass is not there, you can't do it,
right,
because LN has guard quickness like you've never seen. So that has made Park Tudor pay at least 4 times now. So you got a crisp pass and make sure it is there or it's going to be a turnover. That's the difference between LN and so many other teams, is their quickness and their depth.
Park Tudor got here by winning their first game over Lutheran 60-37 at the beginning of the week. And then they won their second game over Franklin Central 51-39. Lawrence North won over North Central 72-52 and then defeated Roncalli 59-49. Jump shot does not go down by Baker. One of the few shots he's missed in the first half. Park Tudor tries to make him pay on the other side. A good-looking 3 does not go down from Platt, but he got it back and then nearly had it knocked away. And Cameron Webster mad at himself that he was not able to get that steal. And I think he had some language that the referee didn't like. And the referee told him, hey, can we watch that a little bit?
Listen, Park Tudor's a good 3-point ball club, not a great They got to be careful about not shooting themselves out of this game.
They have knocked down 1 3. So far, one of their first 7 from beyond the arc. Left side Smith, that's a 2. Way short though, and saved, but right into the hands of Miller.
Here we go.
Miller attacks and scores somehow in traffic. 6'7" Brennan Miller, height and speed. A heck of a combination there. That pushes the LN lead to 12. Ever since they trailed 6-5, they have now outscored Park Tudor 18-5.
Well, listen, they beat a Ron Colley team. It's 8-3 by 10. So they're playing really good ball right now.
Wiley, ball reversal to Platt. Webster out on him, and boy, Webster goes after that ball on defense. Knocked loose. Blewett able to pull it away from his defender. A nice job by Brody Blewett to attack and score.
Park Tudor's got to get free throw line. If you're going to get free throw line, John, you got to be physical and attack the rim.
Spinning is Gilbert, and Gilbert is fouled from behind. So this is the first foul of the second quarter on Miles Wiley, but here's the thing, they've only had 2 fouls called in the first half. And for Park Tudor, they've both been on Wiley, so Wiley checks out with foul trouble. He and Keelan Smith leave, and Arkenau comes back in. It looks like also Carlos Lopez returns.
And on the other side, Park Tudor has not shot very many free throws at all. They need to get to the line. This is a team that they're playing. You have to get to the free throw line as a part of the repertoire to beat them.
3 on the way. Cameron Webster knocking that one down. He's got 7, and that pushes the Wildcat lead to 13. Park Tudor trying to settle into some kind of offensive groove. E.J. Smith calling for a screen. He gets it. Smith weaves, shoots, and couldn't get the roll. Offensive rebound and put back in there for Brody Blewett.
Yeah, and they're going to have to do that if they're going to get back in this thing. They got to crash the board.
Blewett with 2 buckets here in the second quarter to give him 4. Miller, nice pass inside to Webster. Reverse layup, almost got it. I applaud the effort though. Blewett the rebound. Now he's in the lane. He attacks Miller and beats him. Brody Blewett has given Park Tudor a big spark here in the second quarter.
Wasn't there a really good Blewett that played at Park Tudor before and went to like Xavier? What if he did?
And Keith Barnes is able to knock down his second 3, so he and Davis Baker have 8 to lead Lawrence North.
Very young Blewett. I think it's a phenomenal player. You are great ball player. I don't know, but I just happen to think, man, I remember that name at Park Tudor.
Pass does not go the way they wanted. It's a steal and a dunk the other way. Exactly why live ball turnovers against Lawrence North are so costly. And Brennan Miller now has 6. He had a scoreless first quarter, but he's already got 6 here in the second. And you don't want him heating up, especially if he's a guy passing Mike Conley on the Lawrence North scoring list. And Tony Perkins is a man next. So, and he's about to pass him. In fact, if he scores one more basket, he would pass Tony Perkins. Fall-away jumper off the mark from Smith. Rebound Miller. Webster looking around, out to Carnes for 3. And the rebound drops into Brody Blewett's arm. Look how open Carnes gets when he's got Webster and Miller out there to take attention away from him. And then Smith couldn't get the handle on it, but it was poked out last by Webster. 4 substitutions here. Park Tudor trying to go with some kind of lineup that works. They put in Miles Wiley and Griffin Robish. And out of the game comes Owen Platt and E.J. Smith. And Lawrence North is putting back in Britton Thomas. Inbound from Wiley. Looking around, he needs help. He finally gets it out to Arkenau. Inside 2 minutes to play in the first half. And knocked away by Webster. He is so sneaky defensively. Webster to the other side. Open shot, good, and that is a 3. He got his toe behind the line. Britton Thomas has 5, and the lead has ballooned to 17 for Lawrence. Lawrence North.
LN is playing at a different level right now. They are very comfortable. They're in rhythm, and they are flat out playing good.
Nice ball fake by Arkenau, and then Blewett got his man in the air, draws a trip to the line. So this is just the third and fourth free throw attempts coming up here for Park Tudor.
John, it's hard to believe, but both these teams have 4 state championships. I just looked down and seen that and remember that from the day. 4 for LN, 4 for Park Tudor.
Right.
So they've been to the state championship game, so their schools have a history of just really good basketball.
But you know what? They're not thrilled, though, because it's been a while for both.
Yeah, that is a great point.
For Park Tudor, they've won it in 2011, 2012, 14, and 15. For Lawrence North, even longer. They won it in 89, 04, 05, and 06.
Yeah, LN's got 3 in a row. Yeah, I remember that. Those were some serious.
Yeah, with a phenomenal head coach in Jack Kiefer leading.
Well, Yogi Farrell, we talked about the Blues. There's some big-time names and all that stuff.
There sure is. Miller with a shot he normally makes, but didn't get enough leg behind that. Left it short. And that is turnover number 7 on Park Tudor. Coach Tim Adams for Park Tudor telling his guys there, shoot that ball next time. Don't be so hesitant.
You're better off shooting than get a turnover. The turnovers absolutely killed them in the first half.
They had the lead, they had no turnovers, then they turned it over 3 straight times. And that is what has led to Lawrence North having this lead. Missed shot by Webster. There's Miller with a strong rebound, got it up and in, plus the foul. Brennan Miller is now moving up the Lawrence North scoring ranks. He is now past Tony Perkins for 8th all time.
Solid, isn't he? He just doesn't make mistakes, plays both ends, plays 110%, great arsenal of shots, good rebounder. Everything you want in a big guy is this guy right here.
Carlos Lopez with the foul. That is his first and the team's second in the second. Free throw by Miller around the rim and couldn't get it.
And the bigger issue is you can't hardly play him man-to-man because unless you got somebody who can match up with him.
Pretty hard to do that. Three does not go from Arkenau. Tipped out of bounds though. Last touch by Duke Carnes, so it stays on this end with Park Tudor. It's amazing how much different this midway through the first quarter and all of the second has been in favor of LN. I promise you folks, the game didn't start that way.
No, it did. That's how quick a few turnovers in a game like this can just change everything.
And Miller with a swat away, blocking Brody Blewett there. Blewett has been the biggest bright spot for Park Tudor. He has 8 points, all in the second quarter. He has 8 of the team's 19. Part of the reason why I think Miller's on him right now. Saying, hey, we gotta get a hand on this guy. Down to 26 seconds left in the second quarter. Blewett tries to get free off the inbound and does. And off to Arkenau. And Arkenau saw Webster coming, gave it up. And then, unfortunately for Lopez, he threw it right to a Lawrence North defender. And then they give it right back. So Lawrence North has turned it over now for the 3rd time. Man, it's amazing the turnover differential. 8 for Park Tudor, just 3 for LN.
That's really, it's more than the difference in the game, but it started everything down that direction.
And then Carnes blocks Carlos Lopez, so Park Tudor had some decent moments in the second quarter, especially from Brody Blewett, but man, that defense by Lawrence North, keyed by Cameron Webster, and then Brendan Miller got going, and it's a tough train to stop when Lawrence North is playing like this. We'll have your first half statistics, highlights, and more when we come back in a moment. You are watching the Marion County Tournament Semifinals on the ISC Sports Network.
In Lawrence Township, the choice is clear. From NACE-accredited early learning centers to comprehensive elementary programming built to support literacy, language, community, and STEM. A 96% graduation rate, with students engaged in pathways preparing for success in college, career, or military service. 50 state championships and 7 national titles. In the classroom, the court, or on the stage, we produce winners. The choice is clear. Make LT your district of destination.
Well, it is halftime at historic Southport Fieldhouse, Marion County Tournament Semi-Finals. Along with Jan Bozer, I'm John Herrick. Here's how it works. The winner of this game moves on and will play the winner of our next game coming up after this. Starting at roughly around 7:45 tonight, it'll be Pike against Lawrence Central. Lawrence Central 6-7, Pike is 11-2. So, you know, we looked at it, Jan, from this standpoint. Park Tudor needed to come out with a good start. They needed to hit shots. They needed their defense to work for them, and they had to take care of the ball. And they did that for a little bit in the first quarter. Had an early lead. But, man, once they turned it over 3 straight times, the game went downhill from there leading into halftime.
You're exactly right. And when they played like that, it was even. But when they got a little quicker than over their skis, a little bit at a pace that you can't play against LN because they play at a pace really very few teams can match up against. And then the quickness took over. Then Park Tudor started forcing turnovers. And then transition kicked in for LN. And boom, just like that, it went from just a few points to a huge lead now by LN.
Scoring in that first half for Lawrence North, they had 5 guys score, and 3 of them have 8 points. Brennan Miller, Duke Carnes, Davis Baker off the bench with 8. Cameron Webster, I know you're not surprised to hear his name. He has 7, and 5 for Britton Thomas. That is the Lawrence North scoring. Park Tudor led by Brody Blewett, not a starter, but as a 6'4 sophomore came up off the bench, played big. Keelan Smith got going for Park Tudor. He had 6, all in the first quarter, 3 for E.J. Smith and 2 for Carlos Lopez. But the bench has been playing pretty decently for Park Tudor, Jan, but the starters have got to get things back on track.
Listen, they can't get it all back at once, and if you try to rush it against LN, it'll backfire on you more than likely. They're going to have to play a bucket at a time. They got to play not almost perfect, but they cannot turn the ball over. If you turn the ball over, you got no chance. So they got to be very methodical. And I think really the key for them, they haven't been at the free throw line at all, hardly.
Nope.
And to beat LN, I've seen them play 3 times. Lawrence Central was the one team that played LN at LC who got to the free throw line and only got beat by 1. So that's kind of the recipe if you're going to stay with LN, is get to the free throw line.
A little bit of history between these two. They've both played a pretty tough schedule to this point. Lawrence North slightly tougher than Park Tudor, but this has been a series over the last 40 years that has been dominated by Lawrence North. They've won 8 out of the last 10 meetings, but Lawrence North and them and Park Tudor have not played each other since November 29th of 2017. So this is the first meeting between these two teams in almost 9 years, which is strange to see because, you know, they're not that far from each other, Jan.
Historically, though, if they're going to play, it's probably going to be here because LN's historically not going to schedule a 2A ball club, but they meet when they meet here.
But there are teams in the Marion County tournament that have played in this that are lower than 4A, but they're playing some 4A competition.
Yeah.
But also for the 4A schools, it's good to play other tough 4A teams as well as tough teams that are a class or 2 below them.
Yeah, I believe that Park Tudor plays Franklin Central was a 4A. You look down, they've got Terre Haute North's a 4A earlier on. They played North Central 4A. So it's not a precedent for Park Tudor to play 4A ball clubs. They haven't played any as good as LN, though.
Right, yeah. When they went on that 4-game losing streak during the season, losses to North Central, Pike, Roncalli, and then Lawrence Central by 12. So they've played a lot of teams around this area, and they're getting a glimpse of how good those teams are.
I should have said they haven't played anybody except for Pike in LN. That's very good.
Yeah.
Pike is just as good as LN, and if that somehow happens in the final game, that'll be epic.
We will get a look at Pike in our next game tonight when they play Lawrence Central in the other Marion County Tournament semi-final. Both teams are about to head back out onto the floor and do their warm-ups before second half. And when we come back, we'll have a look at the highlights, more analysis, and look ahead to the second half here from Southport Fieldhouse. You are watching the Marion County Tournament semifinals on the ISC Sports Network.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
Southport Fieldhouse, folks starting to file in.
You know, I bet you a lot more people are at home watching us, Jan, than here because weather has not been great. Temperatures have been pretty cold, but they get a chance to stay home and watch some basketball, and a lot of people that are here, man, they've brought out some really good school spirit and have enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, this is historic. You and I talked about all the games through the years we've had the privilege to call here. It's just an epic place. You look up at the banners and some of Bill Springer and some of the other historic guys who's played here. I can remember I called the Zeller games here.
Yep.
It's just been absolute. When this place is packed, there ain't a better gym ever than Southport. There's some really good ones. I'm not really comparing. I'm just saying when this thing is packed, it is epic.
Yeah, you're totally right. And that is almost definitely going to be the case in the regional round because a lot of times the regional round games are played here. And of course, I remember when it was the old format where you'd play 2 games at 10 and noon
right.
and then come back later in the day at 8. I know that's the semi-state now,
right.
but when it was the regional round, this was the place to be.
It was.
And if you did not get here early, I mean, my goodness, you were going to be staying and watching.
No question, no question. This is a great, it's kind of a tournament environment. I always think that anytime teams can play in tournaments, Marion County or some of the great tournaments
yes.
like Kokomo, North Central that IHSAA has covered, that benefits your teams and players. It gives them as much exposure for tournament-type play because there is no substitute for that type of environment.
Yep. It's also a great opportunity for them to showcase what they can do with college scouts watching.
Yeah.
College scouts love to come and watch tournament games where they know, okay, I'm going to get a look at this kid in this game. And then we got another game immediately after it. And then I might jet across town and see another kid that I've got my eye on. So tournament basketball, always a fun one to watch. So now if you are Park Tudor here, Jan, before we start the second half, Park Tudor's obviously a team that needs to play a little more deliberate.
Yeah.
They don't want Lawrence North to get out and run, but here's the problem, down 17. They're going to probably have to be a little more aggressive than they would like to be, given how far behind the 8 ball they are now.
I would set a couple many things they want to try to achieve. Get within 10 by the fourth quarter. Don't shoot yourself out of the game by thinking you have to shoot threes to get back in there.
Right.
Listen, if the three's there, shoot it fine. But don't go into it thinking we got to crash three and shoot 20%, then you're down by 40. Be very vigilant, and I think they got to really attack.
Yep.
Really attack. If you attack, there's a great chance to go to the free throw line.
One last thing before we go to the second half. You and I, both Indiana Hoosier fans.
Yes,
obviously,
we are.
I'm on the IU radio network. I leave for Miami on Saturday after the IU Iowa basketball game. It is so cool to see so many people wearing Indiana Hoosiers gear. It is awesome to see.
It is, John. And now that you've crossed the globe 5 times now, traveling with the Hoosiers, man, what's it been like? Just real quickly about covering just an epic story.
Phenomenal. I mean, and you get to take the scenery in California. Where did we go this year?
Georgia. California.
Georgia, California.
France.
I wish France. France is on my bucket list. My wife and I are like, we want to go to France and we want to go to Ireland. Those are two countries we want to visit. But
listen, even if you're not a Hoosier fan, you got to respect what's going on,
You've
right?
got to. I mean, 15-0, what Kurt Signetti has done, and how he's just instilled so much pride everywhere.
It's been so much fun.
Even if you're not a Hoosier fan, like you said, you can't do anything but respect how good this team has been. It's been a phenomenal watch all season long. So is Lawrence North. Phenomenal record by them, 12-1. Coming off a season, by the way, last year where they went 22-7 and lost in the semi-state round. So they feel like they've got unfinished business off of last year. And it's Brennan Miller with the ball, dumping it down to Thomas.
Park Tudor's going into a 2-3 zone. They just feel like they've got to protect inside, and there's a steal.
And that's the 4th giveaway by LN. And I think it was knocked maybe off of, they say, Lawrence North. It looked like it might be off Park Tudor, but Carlos Lopez got a break there. It was very close.
Well, they talked about it at halftime and just felt like they got a shot. They got to clog the paint.
Yep.
And if they get beat from outside, so be it. But I like the call there because I think that's just the 2-3 helps them defensively and rebounding inside.
Arca now inbounds and lobs it out to Smith. Weaving it left to Robish. Robish steps into a triple, and that might have gotten a piece of that by Gilbert. Gilbert with great defense there, and Lawrence North on the attack.
Just didn't get a very good look.
Webster draws the defense in, and then a traveling violation on Gilbert.
Yep,
so
he knew he did too.
How about LN? They've been very smart with the basketball throughout, but 2 quick turnovers to start the second half, giving them 5 for the game. And now Park Tudor with a chance to cut into this deficit. But it's been hard for them to score no matter where they are on the floor. You can tell Lawrence North just has the advantage on the size and advantage in the athleticism department. Lopez, risky pass, but held on to by Wiley, and then Wiley threw it away. 9th turnover by the Panthers. Webster brings it back out. A 5'11" senior guard with so much quickness and a great nose for the basketball. Miller lobs it back to Webster. Tough shot, but he got it.
Pretty assist by Miller.
Boy, when Miller and Webster are playing in tandem, they are so tough to beat. Webster's got 9, Miller's got 8, 17 of LN's 38. Wiley's pass nearly stolen, grabbed by Lopez, floater, got it.
I like the shot. That's a good 10-footer, and they're downhill attacking the rim.
3 on the way on the other side. Does not go down from Thomas, and the rebound cleared by Griffin Robish. Pass out to Robish again. He's open, and he got it.
There you go, little run now by Park Tudor. And the key there, John, is good shot selection.
That's Robish's first basket of the game. 38-23. They're trying to get, like you said, Jan, trying to get down to that under 10 deficit going into the 4th quarter. Let's see if they can achieve it. Webster trying to prevent that from happening, but he's short on that. Rebound popcorns around into the hands of Lopez.
Park Tudor got a shot here to cut it even farther.
Lopez with a nice look inside to Arkenau, blocked by Miller. And Miller talking to his teammate there, Shannon Gilbert, saying, hey, how did that happen? But Miller just, man, he's such a great eraser on defense and offense.
Yeah, does a good job of protecting that rim without fouling.
The inbound comes out to Robish. Finds Wiley, got around his man, and Wiley gets it to go down. And Wiley with his first basket.
Yeah, Wiley showed a quick step there and got to the rim before they could get to the block. Nice little run by the Panthers.
Shot fake, 3 on the way. Barnes slips out. Rebound. There's Lopez again. He's been all over the boards to start the 3rd quarter, and he goes the other way, and he got the finger roll.
Wow, and Park Tudor now, John, within 11.
Carlos Lopez was 6. 4 of those 6 here in the 3rd quarter.
Just great effort. And I think, like we talked about, they're attacking the rim, John. I think that's been key.
Miller lost it, got it back. Park Tudor fans want to travel, they don't get it. Carnes splits the defense, misses, but a foul is called.
And that's a good foul. He was clearly going to get a layup. You make him earn it at that part. Yeah, I think they may have had a point there. The referee didn't see it.
That is on Keelan Smith. He picks up his first. That's the first of the second half on either team. That puts Carnes at the line. Wow, right now, nothing falling for Lawrence North with shots or free throws.
Well, Carnes is just, he's one of those consistent guys. And for him to be inconsistent, that you don't see that very often. He's really, really good from outside and the free throw line.
Shannon Gilbert is out. He's replaced by Davis Baker. And Carnes this time gets it. So he and Webster both have 9 for Lawrence North, and that puts the lead back at 12. As we approach the midway point of the 3rd quarter.
Get a good shot right here. He's got some momentum. Get a good shot.
Lopez drove in and then tried to throw it back out.
Got no man's land and cost him.
That's 10 turnovers on Park Tudor. Carnes rifles that to Baker. Baker has an opening, uses it to his advantage.
John, did you see how quick he shifted left to right? Then seen a little gap and then went forward.
Baker was a big part of that turnaround for Lawrence North. He scored 5 points in the 1st quarter, and now he's got 10 for the game. Webster with a collision there on Arkenau.
All of a sudden, LN starting to catch fire after that little run by Park Tudor.
Wiley passes it out to Robish. Leaves it for Smith. Smith trying to go right, travels. Yep.
And that's true, he did.
And that, I mean, for as good of a scorer as Brennan Miller is, now 8th on the LN scoring list all time, he has really made an impact on this game with his defense.
Yeah. He can do it at both ends. I mean, and he's very smart. He knows when to pick and choose when to do things because he rarely gets in foul trouble. A lot of times big guys do a lot of good things but are getting foul trouble.
Not Mr. Miller. He's stayed clear of it. Davis, what a move. And then the follow by Miller. He misses. He got his own rebound. He's surrounded, and then he loses it. Good strip there by E.J. Smith to take it away. Wiley tries to penetrate, can't. Now Arkenau swings it to E.J. E.J. Smith attacks, loses it. It's off of Carnes, and Carnes tried to get in their way to save it, but did the smart thing by laying off it. It's off of Park Tudor, and Lawrence North gets the basketball.
At the end of the day, it's a turnover for Park Tudor.
Yep. That is their 12th.
Just cannot continue to make those mistakes. If it's not there, don't do it. You just can't afford right now. You only got so many possessions left in this game.
Yeah.
And now you're to the point where you've got to make all the possessions as count as much as you possibly can. We're only 2:42 left in this one, and then the fourth quarter.
Miller is set to inbound. I don't know if I think there's an issue with perspiration here. Yeah, they got to wipe up. Oh, okay. So it looks like instead of that, he's got blood on his shirt, which means the trainer has to get that cleaned up, or he might have to go get another jersey. So Brennan Miller has to leave the game.
Yeah, I think they cleaned it all. But the good news is, I mean, he's going to get a little rest. That's good. The also part is, Park Tudor needs to know he's not in there now. Now you really attack the rim.
And Shannon Gilbert has to inbound it instead of Miller. See how long Miller's out and what Park Tudor's able to do with him out. Webster with a nifty move, and Cameron Webster is having a fantastic night. He's got 11 points.
He just does things that other guards cannot do with his body. Left, right, forward, backwards. I'm probably missing one in there. He can do it all.
And it was close to being a double-digit lead, dropping down to single digits. But then LN makes a run and a nice three, knocked down by Owen Platt. He had tried that earlier in the first half, was 0 for 3 from downtown. He hits that one there, and a full timeout is called by Park Tudor, but we'll go ahead and keep it here. And remind you that our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Lawrence Township Schools. The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where motivation meets tradition, students excel in welcoming, safe, state-of-the-art facilities, boasting a 95% graduation rate. Lawrence Township's honors programs, career pathways, and dual credit opportunities prepare future leaders and workers on the court and in the arts. State champion students excel, driven by ambition and community spirit. Enroll now in Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
Well, John, Park Tudor has, you mentioned, they've got 4 sophomores on this team, and the sophomores are starting to make some noise from outside.
Probably a good time out there to use after that three to get your defense set up. But here's the other thing, Jan. Park Tudor, because they had to burn 2 30s early in the first half, they're down in just 2 timeouts left for the entire game.
Well, the other point is that gave time for Miller to get cleaned up. He's back in, so they weren't able to take advantage of him not being in there.
And Miller does inbound it. It's Miller, Webster, Carnes, also Davis Baker. And the 5th player out there is Darian Prather, who played limited minutes as a reserve in the first half. Miller trying to back his way in, draws the double, out to Baker, leaves it for Carnes. And Carnes going baseline, risky pass, but Webster's able to get it. Webster lobs it to Miller, zips it into Prather, and Prather couldn't get it, tipped up by Marion, and the rebound by Blewett. It's Brody Blewett, Owen Platt, also Asher Arkenau, E.J. Smith, and Miles Wiley is the 5th. And Wiley has it taken away by Miller.
Yeah, quick hands.
And Miller as he's driving the other way. What do we have? Looks like a foul on the floor, according to the baseline official. And they call this one on E.J. Smith. That's his first. Nobody in real foul trouble in this game aside from Miles Wiley. He's got 2 near the end of the third quarter, so those 2 fouls are huge. And Wiley, speaking of him, he's coming out of the game. He's replaced by Carlos Lopez. Lopez with 6 points for the Panthers. There's Miller off the inbound. Rebound knocked to the floor, and Park Tudor digs it out of there into the hands of Arcanal. Coming up on a minute left in the third quarter. Can the Panthers have a late push here? Going into the fourth. 3 by Arcanal. Yes!
Huge. Absolutely huge. Timeliness on that. Arcanal, a senior, John. We got a 10-point ball game just about to see if LN scores.
Arcanal had tried to get that shot to go down several times in the first half, was unsuccessful. And now Park Tudor clawing back. They've outscored Lawrence North 14-7 here in the third period. Webster. Does he really want to hold for the last shot here? This doesn't feel entirely like LN's nature. They like to normally push the pace here.
I think they're trying to see if they can pull Park Tudor out of that 2-3. That ain't happening. They're within 10.
Right.
That's where they want to be. So they're just going to play for the last shot now.
Their defense has been big here in the third. Cut the 17-point lead down to 10 at this point. Webster gives it to Prather. Prather drives. Might have walked with it. Park Tudor fans don't get the call they wanted. Prather gets the shot. Knocked away by Webster. Lets it fly. And I think Webster might have, well, I think Webster had it knocked out of his hands and he stepped out of bounds. Yep, that's what Coach Tim Adams of Park Tudor's furious about. He wanted a travel call that he doesn't get. And because Webster stepped out, it's 0.8 seconds to work with for Park Tudor.
Got time for a catch and shoot here.
Platt looks, lobs it in. It's caught, blew it, lets it go. Almost went down in the third quarter. Concludes, but Park Tudor not out of it yet. Down by 12 as we head to the fourth on the ISC Sports Network.
In Lawrence Township, the choice is clear. From NACE-accredited early learning centers to comprehensive elementary programming built to support literacy, language, community, and STEM. A 96% graduation rate, with students engaged in pathways preparing for success in college, career, or military service. 50 state championships and 7 national titles. In the classroom, the court, or on the stage, we produce winners. The choice is clear. Make LT your district of destination.
It's a 12-point game. Lawrence North led by 17 at half, but here comes Park Tudor, not out of it yet. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Lori Law. Brady Laurie's been serving the citizens of Marion, Johnson, and surrounding counties for over 25 years. If you or someone you know is in criminal trouble or has been injured, make the call to Brady for a consultation. Let Brady put his negotiating skills and courtroom experience to work for you. Call 317-250-7783 or email BradyJLaurie@gmail.com. That's Brady Laurie, your criminal defense and personal injury trial lawyer.
John Park Tudor held LN to just 9 points that quarter, outscored him 14-9. Defense was the difference. They still got some work to do, though.
One thing that's hurt Park Tudor, 13 turnovers. Shot doesn't go down by Smith. Smith's started the game hot, by the way. 6 points in the first quarter, but he has not scored since then. First possession of the fourth quarter for the Wildcats. Webster draws the crowd in. Out to an open Thomas for 3, off the mark, and the rebound by Keelan Smith. Lopez has it now. So while Park Tudor's been playing zone, LN is back to man-to-man. Lopez driving, spins it back. Smith lets it go.
Oh, yes! My, how big is that? He literally shot that on the run, John, and just like that, it's down to 9.
That gets head coach Tim Adams fired up for Park Tudor. His counterpart, Chris Giffen for LN, saying, guys, lock in, let's get a basket here. They don't from Miller. Offensive rebound, though, by Prather. And Prather is fouled as he tries to shoot the fadeaway.
Well, two things happened there. LN on the offensive rebound. That can't happen. Park Tudor's got to check out there and stop that second shot. And the foul's better than giving him the easy bucket. So that's good and bad. Bad, you got to block out when LN shoots. You cannot allow them to have second opportunities.
That foul on Asher Arkenau, his first, and the free throw does not go in.
And that's why the foul was better than just letting him have the easy one.
Park Tudor cheerleaders having more intensity on their side of the court. Lawrence North cheerleaders trying to hope their player here makes the free throw. He does not. Prather misses them both, and what do we have?
Into the lane too quick.
Lane violation on Keelan Smith. He went in too early. Park Tudor fans can't believe it. So that is another free throw here for Darian Prather. Tim Adams is just beside himself going, how does that happen?
You can't leave until it leaves his hands.
And he missed that one too. Fight for the rebound, grabbed by Thomas.
Not check out again. You've got to overemphasize check out on get to LN, John, because they're so physical.
Webster lost it. Ball loose on the ground. That might be off Park Tudor, and it was. Very close. Tim Adams going, hey, thought it was ours. Lawrence North dodging all kinds of problems here. Missed free throws. Near turnovers. Webster to Miller. Miller drives at Smith, and offensive foul. I had a feeling it was either going to be an offensive foul or a travel. That just didn't look good from the start there for Brennan Miller. Oh, they called it on Prather.
They called it on Prather, yeah, that's his first, John.
All right, so I thought maybe they would call it on Miller for his elbow, but they call it for Prather's elbow.
What an opportunity for Park Tudor to cut into this lead even more. Need a great shot selection here. You do not need to be in a hurry, but take care of the ball, and they did not.
Yep, and Webster came up and poked it away, and he gets a layup on the other end, and then a silly foul committed by Arkenau.
Not foul on that. You just cannot. Just leave it alone. He had you beat. Park Tudor just talked about taking care of the ball, and just like that, what could have been two wasn't. Now they score and could get three. So that's equivalent of potentially a 5-point play.
Right. Arkenau has to come out. Coach Adams having a chat with him. Arkenau's been playing good defense too, and he knocked down a big three in that third quarter. And in the first half, Park Tudor only hit 1 3. So far in the second half, they've hit 3 as a team. The free throw by Webster, he converts. He's got 14 and a 30-second timeout, which has been stretched into a full now. They thought it was 30, it's a full. So we will go ahead and take a brief timeout and be back in a moment on the ISC Sports Network.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
Quite a delicate stage in this one. Marion County Tournament Semifinals from Southport Fieldhouse. Along with Jan Moser, I'm John Herrick. Thanks to Vince Morellis and our entire fantastic crew on the ISC Sports Network. Busted out everything, all kinds of cameras. We got GoPros,
I like
we got
it.
Crowd mics.
Listen, Vince spares nothing when you and I come to broadcast, and we appreciate it. Does all the little things that makes ISC so special on an opportunity like this. Been a really kind of a good game.
Yeah.
Park Tudor scratched and clawed against really one of the top 5 ball clubs in the state, and they still have plenty of time, but they cannot turn the ball over.
You sounded like John Hammond there from Jurassic Park there initially. Spared no expense.
Well, we resemble each other, so you do know that.
Carlos Lopez has certainly helped get Park Tudor back in it. And now Smith, can he hit another one?
That would have been huge. Awful far out there.
That was way downtown. Still only a 12-point deficit. Park Tudor has cut it to as close as 10 after trailing by 17 at the half. Webster on the move. Boy, you have to almost specially defend him.
Yeah, you do.
In a way that you defend other guys differently, and Miller loses the ball.
A mistake by Miller, put it on the floor.
But then he has that block on the other end. Lopez somehow comes out of there with it. Boy, Miller and Webster make up ground so quick, and Lopez with a nice drive, and he got the roll.
Over Miller on top of that, John. How about that? Back to 10-point lead.
Carlos Lopez with 8 points. 6 of those 8 have come here in the second half. And it's down to a 10-point game again. We got about 5 minutes to go.
Park Tudor just keeps battling. Oh, backdoor, bad. Good pass. Good move. That quick run up and then back by Carnes.
And then Carnes gets a steal on the other end.
And there's a bucket by LN, down a steal, and Park Tudor could be in trouble if they don't get stopped.
Webster off balance, but what a follow there by Brennan Miller. He slams it down. Brennan Miller with the dunk. That is a big reason why he continues to move up the Lawrence North scoring list.
And solidify himself to be an Indiana All-Star. He just is that good. He's the intangible piece that you have so much trouble with playing against.
3 on the way, does not go down by Robish, excuse me. Now Lopez will get the offensive rebound, another crack at it. Right when you thought you could get it under 10, Elvin has pushed it back to 14. Smith finds a curling Wiley. Left side, Lopez, got it!
I had to have that. Timeout, Park Tudor, John. Boy, that was a must, and they somehow seem to cut through the clutch when they need.
Carlos Lopez has 11 points. 9 points here in the second half, and remember, he started that third quarter getting several key rebounds and pushing the pace and getting his teammates in good position. Now he's starting to hit shots on top of it, and we're just at the midway point of the fourth quarter. A lot of basketball left, so we know how Park Tudor's going to play it. We know they're going to push, try to hit shots, play the zone on the other side. But now you're at Lawrence North, Jan. What do you do? Because you've got the lead, and you do like to push the pace, but you've also got to protect the basketball. Lawrence North only had 3 turnovers in the first half, but they've got 4 here in the second half.
Yeah, I think you bring a great point. What they don't do is force things. You don't have to force things when you got 10-point lead. The clock is your friend. You take as much time as you can. You don't stall, but you don't need to be in a hurry either. Good shot selection, patience, good passing. You do all the fundamental things really well right now, and just let the clock work with you, and then that's how you finish this thing out. On the other hand, Park Tudor's going to be pressing because they have to.
Also, timeout situation needs to be brought up, and that's what the Park Tudor bench just told their players. They only have 1 timeout left, and Lawrence North, they know that if they get in trouble with an inbound or anything like that, they've got plenty of timeouts to work with. They've got 4. And they've got the basketball with an 11-point lead. Webster to Miller. And Miller, he travels.
Just got a little ahead of himself a little bit. He doesn't make very many mistakes, but that time, clearly the right call.
Out of the game comes Robish, and back in comes Asher Arkenau for the Park Tudor lineup, and Arkenau's got the basketball. Plays catch with Lopez. Wiley now, weaving it around, leaving it for Arkenau, into Smith. Back to Arkenau, open 3, didn't get it, and a foul on the rebound, yep. And it was on Brody Blewett, who went over the back and hit Brennan Miller from behind, so Blewett picks up his first. That's team foul number 3, though, for Park Tudor, but they're 2 more fouls away from putting LN at the free throw line. Webster goes flying up the floor and then slows it up as they get in the half court. Part of the reason why Chris Giffen, the head coach for LN, has such a good record. And then Miller travels again. They've got him rushing a little bit and second-guessing his first thought.
You're exactly correct. I'm not sure why they have him up there so much. He's so dominant, but he can play anywhere. I got that. Yeah. But no need to push the envelope here. Rotate the ball and just do your thing.
Smith almost fell down, but he was also bumped and fouled by Shannon Gilbert. So Gilbert just picked up his first. That's the second on LN in this quarter, so no free throws yet for Park Tudor. Wiley inbounds. Park Tudor led very early in this game, 6-5, but started turning it over. They were down by 17 at half. Inbound comes out to Lopez. Lopez moving, screen on Smith. So Keelan Smith is whistled for his second foul, and that is the fourth on Park Tudor. So they've now reached the foul limit. That's just been the story of the game.
It has been. You took the words right out of my mouth. The coaching staff for Park Tudor is going, what do we got to do to get a break here?
I think they put their team in a good position to do it. Coach Adams has worked his tail off. They've just had trouble executing. 14 turnovers haven't helped. Ball fake Webster. Out to Gilbert. He's left alone for three. Short. Rebound. Lopez gets another one. That is his sixth second half rebound. Smith for three. He had Arkenau next to him, but I don't think he saw him. Webster spins out of it, leaving it for Gilbert, who powers his way up and misses, but the tip up and the follow by Duke Carnes.
Yeah, I believe it was Carnes, got the tip in.
13 points for number 13. And the lead is back to 13. Lopez. Got another one. What a second half for Carlos Lopez.
Yeah, and LN better figure out he's got the hot hand right now. He's made a couple consistent baskets.
And he's got 13. Webster got the seam and scored.
Oh, nobody picked him up.
Well, I think they were supposed to trap, but they might have trapped late. By the time they put it on there, Webster recognized it. And once he realizes, once that light bulb goes off above his head, he's like, I got you. Cameron Webster, just a phenomenal player for this LN ball club. He remembers last year's team that went to semi-state, couldn't finish it, couldn't get to the state title game, and he's back for some unfinished business. And they called this foul on Britton Thomas. Thomas, another senior that would love to get back there. And E.J. Smith is back in. He's got 3 points. Brody Blewett checks out. So Lawrence North in position, trying to win another Marion County tournament. They won this thing in 2020, 21, and 24. Last year it went to North Central, but that's not going to happen this year.
LN with fouls to give, and now next foul will be bonus, John, both sides.
Inbound comes to Arkenau. Arkenau with a seam on Miller. Miller closed the gap, though. Rebound fought for it. Looks like Smith had it. Up and a foul. It looks like Miller got him. And if he does, that's the second on Miller. And free throws coming for Park Tudor.
Well, you can't go back, but what they're doing now is what I would have liked to see much earlier, because now they're getting to the free throw line. Really, I thought they did a lot better job, they being Park Tudor, in this second half of attacking at the basket. And that's why they were able at times to cut the gap here.
Smith needs to hit both of these. Got the first, so he's got 10 now. He's got 10. Lopez has 13. Those are the two double-figure scores for Park Tudor. Brody Blewett not far behind with 8. Brody hasn't scored in the second half. And Smith got them both. Probably a little too late for Park Tudor, but they're putting pressure on, and Arkenau fouls Carnes. Arkenau got his third.
Well, they're going to play the foul game now.
Yep, got to put Lawrence North at the line. Hope they miss some free throws here. Carnes started with 5 quick points there in that first quarter. He really helped start to key the momentum for LN when they were trailing early. At the line. He's got 13. Cameron Webster has a 16 in the second free throw.
Under a minute now, John.
One thing you don't want to allow for LN is to score. Lopez almost hit the
for him today.
12 points. And then he commits a foul on the other side, and that is laid in by Smith. So that's not at all what Miller wanted to do. He just got whistled for his third. Lawrence North coach Chris Gibson going, why did we do that? And Park Tudor's using their last timeout now.
I give Mark Tudor tons of credit here in the second half. I thought they played at a different physical level.
Yep.
Played much better, didn't turn over as much. Got it down there a couple times under double digits, but just never could string enough to get that lead way down there. And LN made some shots here late, and it's going to probably be a little too late for Park Tudor.
Park Tudor's won this tournament before. The last time they did was in 2014, so it has been a while since the Park Tudor Panthers have been able to win this tournament. But again, remember, they're in a lower class. They're in Class 2A, ranked 11th in that class. Lawrence North, though, is ranked 6th in 4A coming in. So you knew it was going to be a tall order for the Panthers, but all of their losses have been to very good 4A teams. And coming up next, don't forget, another Marion County Tournament contest, the other semifinal between Pike and Lawrence Central. It's going to come your way at 7:45. And the winner of that game plays the winner of this game tomorrow night at 7, right back here at Southport Fieldhouse.
Tom, but you look at this Class 2A, Park Tudor, depending on which you look at, rankings 11 in some polls, 10 in others, they certainly could make some noise in the tournament.
Yep.
You know, you've got Oak Hill, who's just playing phenomenal right now, 10-0. Park Heritage 11-2, Wesley 9-1, Paoli 10-0. So there's some really good ball clubs, but boy, first glance at Park Tudor, they certainly competed. They competed all in. They compete with anybody.
Also, don't forget this. After this game, Park Tudor's schedule gets a little bit easier as Smith is able to convert the three-point play. They go back to playing teams from the 1A and 2A level. They don't play a 4A team until February 17th at Terre Haute. And what a drive and dunk by Britton Thomas. Holy cow. He went flying down the floor and flushed it.
Well, they play a couple teams in Bethesda Christian, who's 7-5, and Cecina's 7-4. So besides that, to your point, there's about 4 or 5 that clearly are teams that they should beat. So they got a couple of challenges in there, but they should be able to some strings, to your point, string some wins along.
Nice move by Thomas. Smith with a flow out. Lopez. It'd be fitting if Lopez could take the last shot, you know, especially with what he did in the second half. But Park Tudor turns it over. That's been the theme of the night. Webster lobs it up, and Miller tried to dunk it and rushed it a little bit. Lopez missed the runner.
I think Miller might be just a tad tired.
Yeah. And then they let the clock run out. So there you go. Lopez does take the last shot. Doesn't go down for him. And Park Tudor with a valiant effort in the second half. They trailed by 17 at half, cut it to 10. But ever since then, Lawrence North answered the bell every time, and they win this one 61-48. So they advance to the Marion County Tournament Championship game tomorrow night, and they play the winner of our next game coming up at 7:45 between Pike and Lawrence Central. Jan, your final thoughts on this one?
Listen, Park Tudor outscored LN by 4 in that second half, so give them credit. They made a run at it, but the lead, and that happens. We've seen that happen a lot when you just dig yourself that big hole. It's a lot to get out of. Park Tudor was able to cut it down, but at the end, LN's strength and a couple key players, you're going to mention the key, but no question, Webster and Miller were big tonight.
Yep, and we got to mention our player of the game. Our player of the game is most definitely Cameron Webster. Made the impact for Lawrence North, got several steals in that first half, had 7 in the first half, and then 9 in the second half, 16 for the game. Cameron Webster, you mentioned it, Jan, was a guy when he was out for their one loss, you felt his loss.
Oh, no question.
And then when he's in that lineup, Lawrence North is an incredibly elite ball club.
Yeah, and that was against a 8-3 South Bend Riley, and they only lost, well, they ended up getting beat pretty good by 15. The game got out of hand to them. South Bend Riley, pretty good ball club. Clearly, without him, there was a big difference in LN.
So Cameron Webster with 16 points tonight and several steals. is our LD Smith Plumbing Player of the Game, the Big Dog, brought to you by LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. At LD Smith Plumbing and Drains, we know a thing or two about getting dirty and keeping things flowing. Hats off to tonight's Big Dog of the game in Cameron Webster for leading the charge. For Jan Bozer and Vince Morales, I'm John Herrick saying so long for now.
We'll come back at 7:45 when Pike plays Lawrence Central in the other Marion County Tournament semifinal game for the right to move on and play Lawrence North tomorrow night. You've been watching the Marion County Tournament on the ISC Sports Network.
In Lawrence Township, the choice is clear. From NACE accredited early learning centers to comprehensive elementary programming built to support literacy, language, community, and STEM. A 96% graduation rate with students engaged in pathways preparing for success in college, career, or military service. 50 state championships and 7 national titles. In the classroom, the court, or on the stage, we produce winners. The choice is clear. Make LT your district of destination.